And then what year did you meet Mark Zuckerberg?
I met Mark 4 weeks into college.
So you were going to leave even though you had met him?
Mark Zuckerberg is a name that instantly brings Facebook to mind, a platform that has reshaped the way we interact with each other. But behind the tech mogul is a deeply personal story of love, family, and purpose alongside his wife, Priscilla Chan. An accomplished pediatrician and philanthropist, she's a pediatrician, a billionaire philanthropist, a mother, and the wife of Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg. Mark has built a life that's grounded in shared values: education, healthcare, and giving back. Together, they've raised 3 daughters and added a meaningful family dynamic to their journey. Yet managing both a global career and a private family life is no small feat. How do they find the balance between their public personas and their personal lives? To understand why Mark Zuckerberg's wife recently spoke out, we need to look closer at their unique path. Mark Zuckerberg, born on May 14, 1984 in White Plains, New York, is one of the most well-known names in technology today. Growing up in Dobbs Ferry, he was raised in a family that placed great importance on education and curiosity. His father, Edward, was a dentist, and his mother, Karen, was a psychiatrist. From a young age, Mark showed an unusual flair for computers, and by the time he hit middle school, his passion for programming was clear. In his early teens, his father gave him a book on programming, which Mark devoured. It didn't take long before he was creating programs that showcased his unique ideas. One of his first notable creations, ZuckNet, was a messaging system designed to help his father's dental practice communicate more effectively, a precursor to the technology that would later change the world. As a student at Phillips Exeter Academy, Mark continued to excel not just in academics, but also in extracurriculars, where he was captain of the fencing team. However, it was his deep passion for programming that truly set him apart. Mark's early years were marked by a series of innovative projects. He developed versions of music software and simple games, which quickly caught the attention of major tech companies like Microsoft. Despite receiving job offers from the industry right after high school, Mark decided to take a different path. He chose to further his education at Harvard University. The birth of Facebook. In 2002, Mark entered Harvard, where he initially focused on psychology and computer science. It was during his time there that he began to lay the groundwork for what would become his most famous creation. Are you on Facebook yet? The site is up to 60 million users so far, with a projection of 200 million by the end of the year. As a sophomore, Mark developed a program called FaceMash, which allowed students to rate each other's photos. While FaceMash was shut down by the university, it demonstrated Mark's ability to create engaging platforms that connected people. Then in February 2004, from his dorm room, Mark launched Facebook alongside co-founders Eduardo Saverin, Andrew McCullum, Dustin Moskovitz, and Chris Hughes. Initially, the platform was exclusive to Harvard students, allowing them to create profiles, connect with classmates, and share updates. Its popularity skyrocketed, first spreading to other Ivy League schools, then expanding to colleges across the U.S., and eventually opening up to the general public. What made Facebook stand out from other social networks of the time was its simple, clean design and emphasis on real identities. Mark believed that people would engage more authentically if they used their real names, and this principle became a key feature of the platform's success. By 2005, Facebook had millions of users and was drawing attention from major investors. One of the turning points came when venture capital firm Excel Partners invested nearly $13 million, providing the necessary funds to grow Facebook's infrastructure and team. Under Mark's leadership, Facebook quickly evolved into a global powerhouse. By the early 2010s, the platform had surpassed 1 billion users, making it the largest social network in the world. As Facebook reaches its record amount of users in one day, over 1 billion people, we look back at what makes this social network so likable. In 2012, Facebook went public, raising $16 billion in one of the biggest IPOs ever, catapulting Mark to billionaire status. Mark's vision for the future. Mark always had a grand vision for Facebook, seeing it not just as a social network, but as a way to connect the entire world. This ambitious goal guided Facebook's acquisitions, including Instagram in 2012 and WhatsApp in 2014. These platforms strengthened Facebook's mission, expanding its reach and solidifying its dominance in the social media landscape. Mark also championed initiatives like Internet.org, which aim to bring affordable internet to underserved regions. He believes in the power of connectivity, which led him to expand his vision into virtual and augmented reality. In 2014, Facebook acquired Oculus VR, marking a major step into the future of immersive technology. In recent years, Mark's ambitions have shifted beyond social networking. He's now focused on building the metaverse, a virtual space where people can connect, work, and play in digital environments. This vision ties into his larger goal of creating technologies that bring people closer together. In 2021, Facebook rebranded its parent company to Meta, signaling a significant shift toward this new frontier. Mark sees the metaverse as the next evolution of the internet, blending virtual reality with everyday experiences. Though still in its early stages, he has committed significant resources to its development, believing it will shape the future of online communication. Priscilla Chan, Mark's wife, is often recognized for her role as the partner of one of the most influential tech figures in the world. But Priscilla's story is one of its own, filled with perseverance, compassion, and a deep commitment to helping others. Born on February 24, 1985, in Braintree, Massachusetts, Priscilla grew up in a working-class family shaped by resilience and sacrifice. Her parents, Chinese refugees who fled Vietnam in the late 1970s, came to the U.S. with little more than hope and a determination to build a better life. They settled in the Boston area and opened a small restaurant, provide for their 3 daughters, teaching them the values of hard work and the importance of education. Priscilla often acted as a translator for her family, helping them navigate the complexities of American society. Even though her family's means were modest, her parents emphasized education as the path to opportunities they had never had. Education and early accomplishments. Priscilla attended Quincy High School, where she stood out for her academic talent and leadership. She was known for her determination and kindness, and despite the challenges she faced, she excelled as the valedictorian of her class in 2003. Priscilla's success went beyond academics. She was also deeply involved in volunteer work, mentoring younger students and making a lasting impact on her peers. Her experiences in high school set the stage for her future aspirations in medicine and education. With a strong academic record, Priscilla was accepted into Harvard University, where she began her studies in 2003, the same year Mark started at the university. While they would eventually meet and build a life together, Priscilla's time at Harvard was marked by her own passions and pursuits. At Harvard, Priscilla majored in biology with a focus on pediatrics and healthcare. She was passionate about helping children and families, particularly those from underserved communities. Her coursework was demanding, but she balanced it with extracurriculars and volunteer work. She also became fluent in Spanish, wanting to reach and connect with a broader spectrum of people. Priscilla was known for her approachable personality and her commitment to her goals. While many of her peers were focused purely on academics, Priscilla always considered how her education could be used to make a real impact on the world. Priscilla remained focused on her goal of becoming a doctor. In 2008, she enrolled at the University of California, San Francisco, UCSF School of Medicine, one of the top medical schools in the country. At UCSF, she specialized in pediatrics, dedicating herself to providing care for children and adolescents. The demands of medical training were intense, but Priscilla excelled in this challenging environment. I went to medical school and have been practicing as a primary care pediatrician at our county safety net hospital for the past 5 years. She was especially drawn to cases involving children from low-income families, where access to quality health care was often limited. Her experiences at UCSF deepen her understanding of how factors like housing and education can affect health outcomes. These insights would later guide her philanthropic work. Even before meeting Mark, Priscilla's life had been shaped by strong values and a clear sense of purpose. Her upbringing taught her resilience and the importance of community, while her education reinforced her belief in equity and opportunity for all. Priscilla wasn't just focused on personal success. She was determined to use her talents to make a meaningful impact. Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan's marriage is rooted in shared values, mutual respect, and a deep commitment to family. Their journey together started in 2003 when they met at a college party at Harvard. At the time, Priscilla's humor and practicality complemented Mark's focused and driven personality. Over the years, they built a relationship based on a shared vision of creating a balanced and meaningful life. They married on May 19, 2012, in an intimate and private ceremony at their Palo Alto home. Most of their guests believed they were gathering to celebrate Priscilla's graduation from medical school, making the wedding a delightful surprise. The simplicity of the ceremony reflected the couple's desire to keep their personal lives grounded. Still, Zuckerberg has a lot to celebrate even with the loss today. He's still one of the wealthiest men in the world, and on Saturday, he married his girlfriend, Priscilla Chan. Despite Mark's global fame as the founder of Facebook, building a life together, family, love, and support has remained a priority. While both Mark and Priscilla have prominent public roles, their life together is centered around family, love, and support. They intentionally structure their home life to create a nurturing environment for their children. Mark often speaks about his admiration for Priscilla's compassion and dedication, while Priscilla highlights Mark's thoughtfulness as a partner and father. They prioritize quality time with their children over material wealth, focusing on simple but meaningful moments such as cooking together or reading bedtime stories. The couple also maintains traditions reflecting their cultural values, including celebrating Lunar New Year as a family. Their commitment to family is further demonstrated in their decision to raise their children with a sense of purpose and a deep understanding of giving back. In December 2015, Mark and Priscilla welcomed their first daughter, Maxima, affectionately called Max, on Thursday. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced that he and wife Priscilla Chan are expecting another baby girl. The couple's first child, a girl named Max, was born back in late 2015. Her arrival marked a significant milestone as they embraced the joys and challenges of parenthood. Mark took 2 months of paternity leave to bond with Max and support Priscilla during the early days of their daughter's life. Max's birth also sparked a reflection on the world Mark and Priscilla wanted to leave behind for their children. This led them to pledge 99% of their Facebook shares to philanthropic causes through the Chan-Zuckerberg Initiative, focusing on education, health, and equality. Mark and Priscilla are hands-on parents, often sharing glimpses of their family life from bedtime stories to outdoor adventures. Max, the eldest, has developed a close bond with her younger sisters and is a loving big sister. In August 2017, they welcomed their second daughter, August. Their announcement of August's birth included a heartfelt letter expressing their hopes for her future and the importance of cherishing childhood. Mark and Priscilla emphasize a well-rounded upbringing for their children, where curiosity and creativity are encouraged. They strike a balance between structure and freedom, fostering an environment where imagination thrives. Mark frequently shares moments of fatherhood, such as exploring nature with his daughters or celebrating milestones as a family. Both Max and August have grown up in a home filled with love, learning, and a commitment to giving back, values that will shape their futures. The arrival of their third daughter, a new chapter. In March 2023, Mark and Priscilla joyfully announced the arrival of their third daughter, Aurelia, completing their family of 5. Her birth brought even more happiness and energy into their home. As the youngest, Aurelia is showered with love not only from her parents but also from her older sisters. Max and August. The family dynamic has grown even stronger with Aurelia's arrival. Mark and Priscilla continue to prioritize their roles as parents, ensuring that their children feel loved and supported at every stage of their lives. The couple often speaks about the joy of watching their daughters grow up together, forming close sibling bonds while each exploring their unique personalities. Mark and Priscilla's life revolves around simple joys and shared experiences. They've intentionally created a home environment where their children can thrive. Despite Mark's high-profile career, he has always emphasized the importance of being present for his family. Whether it's through weekend family outings, morning routines, or simply being there for the small moments that matter most, Mark remains deeply involved in family life. The couple has instilled meaningful traditions that reflect their heritage and beliefs. One such tradition is celebrating the Lunar New Year with their daughters, introducing them to cultural practices and family gatherings. These moments help ground their children in their sense of identity and connection to their roots. Both Mark and Priscilla believe in raising their daughters with a sense of responsibility and empathy. They hope their children will grow up understanding the value of kindness, hard work, and contributing to the greater good. Their parenting philosophy centers around balance, nurturing curiosity and independence while providing the structure and guidance their children need. They've been open about the challenges and joys of parenthood, acknowledging that raising children is a continuous learning process. Through their actions, they strive to set an example, showing their daughters the value of dedication, resilience, and compassion. Gratitude is another key aspect of their parenting, encouraging their children to appreciate the privileges they have while remaining grounded. At the heart of Mark and Priscilla's story is their shared commitment to family. Their journey as partners and parents reflects their values of love, connection, and making a positive impact. For them, success isn't just about professional achievements, but about creating a meaningful life together filled with love, purpose, and family. The shifting dynamic, Mark's martial arts journey. While their family life is filled with warmth, a surprising chapter in their personal story came when Mark ventured into martial arts and mixed martial arts (MMA) training. Mark's deepening passion for the sport became a controversial topic, especially in his relationship with Priscilla. Known for his laser-focused approach to his work at Facebook, this newfound interest caught many by surprise, raising questions about its impact on his personal life. Doing sports that basically require your full attention, I think, is really important to my mental health and the way I just stay focused at doing everything I'm doing. Mark's interest in martial arts wasn't completely out of the blue. Like many entrepreneurs, he's always been drawn to activities that challenge both the body and the mind. However, his commitment to martial arts seemed to develop almost overnight. What started as a way to stay fit quickly evolved into a full-blown obsession. Mark didn't just dabble in martial arts. He fully immersed himself in rigorous training schedules, grappling techniques, and competitive sparring. He began documenting his progress on social media, often sharing clips of himself sparring with professional fighters or practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, one of his favorite disciplines. Fans and colleagues were impressed by his focus, noting that he approached the sport with the same determination and dedication that had driven the success of Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg's immersion into mixed martial arts was not just a passing hobby. What started as an attempt to maintain his physical fitness quickly escalated into an all-consuming passion. As the CEO of Meta, Mark had always been known for his intense focus and drive, but martial arts, particularly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, offered him a new avenue for discipline, mental clarity, and personal growth, things that seemed essential in the high-stress world of Silicon Valley. His dedication was commendable, but for Priscilla, it began to feel like a destructive force in their family dynamic. Priscilla, who had been by Mark's side throughout his rise in the tech world, was no stranger to sacrifice. She had always understood the demands of his career, supporting him as he built Facebook into a global empire. But this was different. Mark's increasing devotion to his new passion, especially when it began consuming hours of his daily routine, left Priscilla feeling sidelined. Their daughters Maxima, August, and their newborn Aurelia were growing, and family time became rarer. Priscilla had always been someone who valued balance. She knew how to juggle her medical career, philanthropy, and motherhood, and she expected the same from Mark. The turning point came when Mark made a drastic decision. He decided to build an octagon in their backyard. For Priscilla, this wasn't just about a new structure. It was a physical manifestation of Mark's priorities changing. Their home had always been their sanctuary, a place where they could escape the pressures of their public lives and create memories together. The backyard, in particular, was where they spent time with their children, whether it was playing with their daughters or having a quiet dinner on a summer evening. The idea of it being transformed into a full-fledged training ground for Mark's MMA pursuits felt like a betrayal. For Priscilla, the octagon wasn't just about an aesthetic choice or a loss of space. It was a symbol of Mark's shifting focus, a focus that, to her, was now more on competition, physical strength, and mental toughness than on their family and shared values. She felt disrespected and frustrated, questioning why Mark couldn't see how this was affecting their lives. Their daughters, who had been so used to the backyard as a space for carefree play, now faced the reality of a father who was more interested in sparring than spending time with them. Priscilla's frustration boiled over in a series of arguments, each one exposing deeper cracks in their relationship. As the situation grew more tense, Mark's decision to engage in a public feud with Elon Musk only added fuel to the fire. What started as playful banter about a possible cage fight between the two tech giants quickly turned into something more serious. The two social media tech giants have been floating this idea of a cage fight for ages. In my mind, it's just all attention-seeking. It was never going to happen. Dana White, UFC president, took the conversation to another level, offering to host the match. Mark, fueled by the excitement and attention, was all in. Surrounding the challenge, Mark doubled down on his training, pushing himself harder than ever before. The public's fascination with the potential showdown only made Mark more obsessed with the idea. To Priscilla, this wasn't just about training anymore. It was about a complete disconnect from everything they had worked for together. Mark, now training for the possibility of fighting Musk, seemed to have lost sight of their family goals. While she understood Mark's need for self-improvement and mental clarity, she felt that his priorities were skewed. This wasn't the man she had married. The man she had supported through the highs and lows of building Facebook was now consumed by an entirely different world, one that had little to do with their children or their shared life. A test of boundaries and commitment. At the core of Priscilla's frustration was a sense of betrayal. She had always admired Mark's ambition and focus, but this new obsession felt like a disruption to their marriage. Their relationship had always been built on shared values, mutual respect, family, and community. Now Priscilla was seeing a side of Mark she hadn't expected. The decision to build the octagon, the time spent training for fights, and the potential for a public spectacle in a cage fight with Musk were all signals to her that Mark was prioritizing something that could never be as important as their family. This wasn't about pursuing a healthy hobby anymore. It was about a new identity that seemed to overshadow everything else. For Mark, this situation was equally challenging. He had always prided himself on his ability to compartmentalize and focus, but this new passion for martial arts wasn't something he could easily put aside. To him, it was a way to push his limits and learn discipline in a different arena. He saw MMA as a challenge, a way to stay grounded and sharpen his focus. But as the months passed, he couldn't help but notice the distance growing between him and Priscilla. The woman who had stood by him through thick and thin was now frustrated with him. The woman who had supported his dreams, from Facebook to the Zuckerberg initiative, was now questioning his commitment to their family. At this juncture, both Mark and Priscilla were at a crossroads. For Priscilla, the cost of Mark's obsession with MMA was too high. She had worked hard to build a life where their family came first, where their daughters could grow up with a sense of stability and love. The idea that Mark's dedication to training was pulling them in opposite directions was unbearable. She wasn't asking him to give up his hobbies. She was asking him to find balance, to remember what truly mattered. Mark, on the other hand, felt torn. He didn't want to lose the connection with his wife or jeopardize the stability of his family. But MMA was something that had brought him peace and a sense of purpose. It wasn't just a physical challenge for him. It was a mental and emotional outlet. He didn't know how to walk away from something that had become so important to him, but he also didn't want to lose his family in the process. The question now remains, how can two people who have built an empire together navigate such a deep division in priorities? Can they find a way to reconcile Mark's passion with Priscilla's need for family balance? Would you have reacted the same as Priscilla? Or would you understand Mark's need for a new challenge even at the cost of strained relationships? Share your thoughts in the comments, and to enjoy more stories of successful persons, subscribe to the channel.